What's going on, everybody? David here. Today we're going to look at the IRS website. There are some changes when it comes to the stimulus check, so I want to go over those things and give you a little bit more information and kind of point you guys in the right direction. I put out a couple of videos before this, and I will post those at the very end of this video, so you can check those out if you want to. But there are a lot of different questions that people had, and so I did a video specifically answering those questions, and now I want to go to the IRS website so you guys can see exactly what they're saying about some of these, because there's some questions that were kind of, you know what, I'm not too sure. So I did some extra digging to find out that information for you guys, so I hope this helps. But first off, on this channel, we talk about inspiring people to travel more using points. If that sounds like something interesting to you, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the little bell notification so you can get future updates on my videos. Okay, so I want to go over all this information right now. And there's a lot of different things that are on here, but let's go ahead and pull some stuff up so we can see exactly what we're talking about. There are a few things that I want to talk about. I do have my little list here, and I want to make sure I go over these things because these are the questions that get asked all the time. So who is eligible? People all want to know who's eligible for this, and do you have to file your taxes in 2018, 2019 in order to qualify is another very popular question. And then how are they going to get the money to you? That's probably the number one question. How are they going to get this money to me? Is it direct deposit? And I talked a little bit about that in the other videos, but they really tell you exactly how they're gonna send this out to you, and then they give you the alternatives as well. I will also talk a little bit about, or I'll show you a calculator where you can find out exactly how much money you will be receiving. So I think that's good. There are a lot of calculators that are out there right now, so we'll pull up one of those and look at that as well. So here is the IRS website. So irs.gov/coronavirus. That's where you need to be, and they will update this information. At least they say that they'll be updating this information. So anything that comes out that's new, you're going to be able to find it here. Okay, so the first thing, who is eligible? We talked about this in the other videos, but I'll talk about it again just so you guys know. Okay, this is directly from the IRS. So tax filers with adjusted gross income up to $75,000 for individuals and up to $150,000 for married couples filing joint returns will receive the full payment. For filers with income above those amounts, the payment amount is reduced by $5 for each $100 above the $75,000 or $150,000 threshold. Single filers with income exceeding $99,000 and $198,000 for joint filers with no children are not eligible. So it clearly states exactly what they're looking for and all the different criteria. Now, like I said, we'll look at the calculator at the very end so you can see if you fall in, let's say you make $87,000 as opposed to making $99,000. We'll be able to see the difference there, so you can kind of calculate how much money that you'll be getting. Eligible taxpayers who file tax returns from either 2019 or 2018 will automatically receive an economic impact payment of up to $1,200 for individuals or $2,400 for married couples. Parents also receive $500 for each qualifying child. So then they lay it out there. So you're going to get the $1,200 or $2,400 if you're married and you file jointly. So that lays everything out for you. So there should be no questions when it comes to that. It's pretty cut and dry when it comes down to it. Now there is a little question that comes up here. It says single filers with income exceeding $99,000 and $198,000 for joint filers with no children are not eligible. So they make sure they specify with no children. So let's say you make $100,000, but you have a child. Can you get that $500? That is the question. And I'm thinking the way that they wrote this, you are eligible for that $500. So we'll have to see how that plays out. And I'm sure they'll probably update this in the future because people are going to have that. They're going to be concerned about that. Okay, so the next question I want to talk about is tax. Do you have to file your taxes in 2018 or 2019 in order to qualify? So if you do file 2018, 2019, you automatically qualify. However, if you did not file your taxes in 2018, 2019, can you still get this stimulus check? The answer is yes, but you have to look at the fine details here, because if you just think yes and you don't file anything, you're not going to get a stimulus check. So let's see what they say here. Okay, so I filmed this video on March 31st. It's now April 1st, and they've made a change already. So I'm going to update you guys. So the Treasury Department, they put out a change. And if you go to the IRS website, so the IRS website that we talked about earlier, right at the very top here, and you can almost miss it. They did make the wording. They changed the wording down here as well. But at the very top here, they have a news release. So you want to click on that, and then it'll go over and it'll talk about Social Security. So Social Security recipients will automatically receive economic impact payments. Okay, so let me read this update. So it says U.S. Department of Treasury and the Internal Revenue Service today announced that Social Security beneficiaries who are not typically required to file tax returns will not need to file an abbreviated tax return to receive an economic impact payment. Instead, payments will automatically be deposited into their bank accounts. Okay, so before they were saying that you have to fill out this simple form, and so that's what I put in the video. But you no longer have to fill out this simple form if you're getting Social Security. They will automatically route it to your bank account, or they'll mail out a check to you. So Social Security recipients who are not typically required to file tax returns do not need to take an action. So you don't have to do anything. This is the way that I thought it was initially, and then it looks like they changed it where you had to fill out the simple form, and now they're going back to kind of the way that they originally announced it. So no form needs to be filled out. I know it's very, very confusing because they're going back and forth, and there are a lot of different moving parts. And it does get a little frustrating. And I can only imagine if I'm older and I don't have a computer, just like my dad. My dad's 84 years old. He doesn't have a computer. He doesn't even have a smartphone. So being able to keep up with all this information is really, really overwhelming. But that's why I'm here. And that's why you need to subscribe to the channel, because I will be following this along. From this time on until everyone gets their checks, I will be following, checking out the websites, making sure everything is up to date, and then letting you guys know the information. So let's go ahead and read further here. The IRS will use information from Form SSA 1099 and Form RRB 1099 to generate $1,200 economic impact payments to Social Security recipients who did not file tax returns in 2018 or 2019. Recipients will receive the payments as a direct deposit or by paper check, just as they would normally receive their benefits. So everything is going to stay the same. So if you are getting money for Social Security, you'll either get it as a direct deposit or you'll get it as a check. So I just wanted to update that. Okay, so getting to the check. How am I going to get my check? How are they going to mail the check out to me? They talk about that as well, so let's go ahead and look at that. The vast majority of people do not need to take any action. The IRS will calculate and automatically send the economic impact payments to those eligible. For those who have already filed their 2019 tax returns, the IRS will use the information to calculate the payment amount. For those who have not filed their return in 2019, the IRS will use information from their 2018 tax filing to calculate the payment. The economic impact payment will be deposited directly into the same banking account reflected on the return filed. Okay, so they're basically saying, so if you filed your taxes, that same bank account, that's what they're going to use in order to route the money. Okay, so what if the IRS does not have your banking information? So what are you going to do now? So this is where they talk about it. So the IRS does not have my direct deposit information. What can I do? So in this situation, in the coming weeks, this has not rolled out yet, Treasury plans to develop a web-based portal for individuals to provide their banking information to the IRS online. So the individuals can receive payments immediately as opposed to checks in the mail. So they are going to be opening this portal up, and they're going to allow you to put your information in there, and then they can route it that way. So you'll get direct deposit that way. So things are coming. This is something that I think should have already been decided, and they should already have the portal open and already have the simple tax form and all that stuff available for you. But it looks like it's going to take a little bit of time for them to get all this stuff together and then get this all going. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, the people who did have questions about this, especially people who are on SSI or people on Social Security disability, they now know finally, okay, this is what needs to happen, because before it was kind of up in the air. Some people were saying, oh, you get Social Security, you don't make enough to file taxes, so they're just going to route that information or route that check right to where you receive your Social Security benefits. But that's not the way it's going to work. You do still need to fill out this simple form. So just a lot of different things going on, a lot of different moving pieces, and hopefully they get everything together so they can get this money out as soon as possible. Okay, now I want to show you guys this calculator. This is H&R Block. Now there are a variety of different calculators, so if you just type in stimulus check calculator, you're gonna find a bunch of different sites. I will post a link to the IRS website and a link to the H&R Block website, and I'm not affiliated with H&R Block in any way, but it's the first one that came up in a Google search. So these are really neat because you just put in your information. So let's see, Have you filed your 2019 tax yet? I'll just put yes. I have not filed mine, but I'll put yes. Let's see, filing status for 2019. So if I'm single, you put single there. Now 75,000. Now this will, if you calculate this, you're going to get the full amount. You're going to get the $1,200, right? Now let's say I made a little bit more than that. Let's say I made $86,731. Let's just make it a crazy number like that. Now if I calculate that, it's going to show me, okay, you're looking at getting about $613.45. So it goes down to the cents. Now, this is an estimate. It's not the exact amount, but it gives you a good idea. And what it does is it deducts that $5 for every $100. So you can do that. And then you can also do other things too. So let's say I'm making I make 75,000 and I am married and I have 2 children. So how much money would I get there? So in that case, this is what you're looking at, $3,400, and that's joint. So that's a married couple, so $2,400 for the married couple, plus the 2 children. So that's what you're looking at there. And then if you want to do other things, head of household is another thing that you can do here. So if you're head of household, let's say you have someone, you're single and you have someone who's a dependent. It could be a child, it could be a relative, and they live at your place. So you're head of household. That qualifies you up to $112. So if we were to say, let's say I make 130. Oh, here we go. Let's say I make 130,000. Where do I fit in when it comes to that? And let's say I have 1 dependent. Calculate that. Okay, I'll get $825. So just because you make more, you can make over that 75,000 or over the 99,000 threshold. But if you're head of household and you have someone who's a dependent, that when you file your taxes, there's a dependent, then you're still going to be able to get some money back in situations like that. Now, if you don't have anyone, so if it's 0 there, now you're looking at $325. So you could still make $130,000 and still get $325 in this situation. So this is a real neat calculator that you can use. It should help you out and answer a lot of different questions. And you can kind of mess around with it and say, okay, well, what if I'm in this situation? What if I'm in that situation? What would I get? There are a lot of people who have questions like, okay, well, I have this, or if I'm a dependent, do I get it? If you're a dependent, you do not get the check. So just be aware of that. But if you are head of household, you do have a little bit more when it comes to that ceiling. That ceiling is no longer 99,000; it goes up to 112,000. 112,500 or something like that. So the H&R Block website has some really good information as far as the calculator. The IRS website, you want to go to the IRS, and I'm telling you, if you have questions about the forms that you need to fill out, I would periodically go to that IRS website, so that way when they update it, and I'll probably do another video once they update it just to let you know, okay, they're online, so you guys can get on there and fill that information out. But you want to keep watching. Because as soon as it comes out, as soon as that form comes out, the simple form, you want to get in there, fill that form out. If you have not filed any taxes or you don't make enough to file taxes, fill that form out, give them that basic information so they can route that money to you as soon as possible. If you guys have any other questions, please post it below. I love answering questions. So in the last 2 videos, I answered every question that was put out there, and I will continue to do that. So if I don't know the answer, I'll try to point you in the right direction. So if you have questions, go ahead and post it down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.